That night at Under Siege, Gresham put on a very disturbing display and defeated Kushida. These two were supposed to clash in the rematch on the countdown to Slammiversary last month. Unfortunately, Gresham was unable to make it due to the global IT travel issues that were incurred that weekend. So now we get the matchup we've been waiting for between these two. However, this is not the Jonathan Gresham that we have been expecting for quite some time. Gia Miller was able to speak to Gresham, who claims to have no memory of what's been happening, says he's been very sick as of late.
Yeah, it's strange to say, but almost as strange as it was to see that new incarnation that we saw of Jonathan Gresham over the last several weeks. The ink, the octopus incarnate. It's almost stranger now to see him just come out here as the Jonathan Gresham of old, as if nothing's happened.
It is bizarre, and at the same time, you have to look at this in a vacuum. Jonathan Gresham, the man we know, is a brilliant wrestler. I can never forget the TNA World Title match he had against Alex Shelley at the back end of last year in Chicago. It's one of the best matches I've ever had the pleasure of calling. Jonathan Gresham is a technical wizard, but still, there's the great unknown here, Ray Wall.
I'm trying to suss out if this is a head game he's trying to play here with Kushida, who you have to imagine we saw all the time and effort Kushida was taking in to try to find a counter, a cure, if
yes,
you will, for that ink. This was obsessing Kushida. Oh. Is this a play here to try to maybe throw Kushida off the game here, give him a different opponent, basically, than he was expecting here tonight?
Both men going for headlocks here.
An incredible tactical back and forth here. Both guys catch as catch can here. Old school wrestling, if you will, man.
Kushida finally able to corral Jonathan Gresham. Don't forget, still to come tonight, a huge announcement regarding our 20th annual Bound for Glory. Here's the shoulders down just there for a moment. Kushida staying in this matchup.
Gresham tried to deliver the belly to back there. Kushida holding on, looking for it again.
Kushida continues to control Jonathan Gresham. Kushida, who came very prepared to Montreal for the countdown to Slammiversary. You remember the ink all over his body in a completely different capacity than what Gresham had. It was expecting Gresham that night, and that was a side of Kushida we've never seen before.
And that's why I have to imagine, I keep, maybe call me suspicious if you will.
I think it's fair to be.
I have to imagine this is some kind of game, but so far, this has been textbook pro wrestling right here. This has been grappling, like again, the Jonathan Gresham of old, the Kushida we've known. This is just 101 right here.
Two men have won championships all over the world. Both have challenged for the TNA World Championship, right down onto the tailbone there. Oh, and a back elbow by Gresham. Finally, the matchup we've been dying to see, Gresham versus Kushida. This matchup continues here on TNA Impact. Picture in picture.
And a match that has been almost out of a learner's manual for pro wrestling, back and forth grappling. Very different than the matchup we expected here is continuing, as Gresham has found himself with the advantage here over Kushida.
See how Kushida drops his body weight down to one knee there as Gresham was trying to control the time splitter.
And now stepping inside, trying to block the leverage of Gresham. And once again, going for the arm. We know Kushida is going to want to look for that hoverboard lock.
Gresham tying up the legs of Kushida.
Kushida got to make sure you have those shoulders do not hit the mat.
A referee, Paige Prinzavali, all over this.
Hey, reminder, we have seen Jonathan Gresham win a match with a pinfall via figure 4 leg lock before in TNA. He has the uncanny capacity to win from almost any angle, any hold.
Now look at this. Gresham has Kushida tied up, but Kushida just trying to push back with that on that left leg on the sole of the boot.
Trying to counter the pressure there.
Maybe trying to press that shoulder down into a pinning predicament. Couldn't get it. Kushida staying on his right shoulder there to prevent a pinfall opportunity for Gresham.
And Gresham trying to bridge back here, increase the pressure, wrench up on that knee of Kushida, which is all tied up.
Gresham continues to put Kushida through hell here, tying up the legs in this fashion.
And Kushida, someone who relies a lot on his speed, his agility. You take those legs out, you eliminate a lot of his offense.
Oh, shoulders were down there for a moment. Kushida's got to be careful there. Was just trying to press Gresham off of him.
Just trying to redirect the pressure in some way, shape, or form here.
Kushida trying to get to the bottom rope to break up the submission, and finally got the positioning to do so. And Gresham claiming that he's stuck. We've heard this for a while from Gresham. Whether he's being honest or not, it remains to be seen.
I mean, they're so tied up here.
Paige Prinzavali trying to separate these two, and finally does.
Either way, that was several extra seconds of agony for Kushida.
Referee's discretion to not disqualify Gresham, believing that Gresham was legitimately tied up.
A little bit of work done to Gresham's leg in that case as well. Obviously, Kushida none too pleased with that decision as well.
Completely understand why Kushida would be ticked off. Would assume there was some malice behind it. Oh, Kushida versus Jonathan Gresham continues here on TNA Impact, a matchup we've been waiting to see for quite some time. It's just not happening exactly in the fashion anybody expected it to.
Just before we came back from the break, Gresham had Kushida all tied up to the point where he claimed he couldn't even undo the submission once they were in the ropes. Lots of damage done to the legs of Kushida, and now Gresham trying to maintain his advantage here.
For months, we've seen a much darker side of Jonathan Gresham. He has claimed he has no memory of that. Claims he's been sick as of late. All these two clash back at Under Siege. It was Gresham who got Kushida sick in the wake of that match. They're supposed to clash at Slammiversary. Travel issues for Gresham prevented that from happening.
But Tom, let's not forget, I mean, it wasn't even just Kushida at the time. The referee in the match, Santino Marella, for a brief period, even suffered some of the side effects of whatever the hell was going on with Jonathan Gresham.
It does not take away from the fact that Kushida and Jonathan Gresham are two of the best technical wrestlers on the planet, and that's the display that we've seen.
I mean, that's what we're seeing here. This is more straight up wrestling here from some of the best in the world.
Great strength by Gresham, trying to get into a cover here. Couldn't quite get the positioning, and a kick out by Kushida, but Gresham holds on.
Kushida kicked out right into this leg lock, right into this crab now. The octopus puts on a crab here in the middle of the ring.
Single leg Boston Crab by Jonathan Gresham. Feeling like he's in control right now against the time splitter. And Kushida gets to the bottom rope. That will break up the submission. And this time, Gresham's not going to be able to claim that he was tied up, relinquishes the submission.
Yeah, but for the second time in this matchup, the Kushida has had to desperately get to the rope to break a hold of Jonathan Gresham. That shows the amount of agony, the amount of pain that Gresham is inflicting here.
Still to come tonight, an announcement regarding Bound for Glory 2024 that you do not want to miss. We'll see Joe Hendry one-on-one with Wolfgang of Gallus from NXT in our main event. Jordan Grace will be holding an open challenge for a Knockouts World Championship as well.
Right now, the Octopus looking to lock in the Octopus stretch of his own.
Kushida, oh, the dragon screw we've seen him pull out recently. A nasty dragon screw.
High torque on the knee of Jonathan Gresham there. A little bit of payback for the leg work that Jonathan Gresham has done. But boom!
Kushida with a drop kick to the arm. This is the assault that Kushida has been thinking about all match long, trying to soften up Gresham for the hoverboard lock. Oh. Over the crossbody, dove after Gresham.
Gresham tried to repay the favor there to the left arm. Kushida gets out of the way.
Shoulders down. Again, was trying to hold up. Shades of what we saw earlier on in the matchup. Both men trying to get a headlock. Kushida got the better of that exchange. Gresham caught him this time. Oh, and a kick out by Kushida. Oh, the Pele kick.
Such an evenly matched back and forth matchup here. There, it's the big kick to the arm.
Trying to hyperextend the left elbow now, leaping into the hoverboard lock. Can he get it cinched in, however?
Gresham is blocking with everything he can. We know how strong Gresham is, but has enough work been done to that left arm?
That goes to the right arm, changing things up on Gresham.
And trying to keep Jonathan Gresham on his toes here. Keep the octopus thinking.
Off of the ropes. Both men matching each other with power. Went for the Tanaka punch. Gresham, cross body. But Kushida rolled through. Kushida trying to bend the arm. Hoverboard lock. Oh, and a tap out by Gresham.
Here's your winner, Kushida.
Gresham tapping out right away. Wise did not want to suffer any more damage than was necessary. That gives Kushida the big win here tonight on TNA Impact.
It has been a perplexing few months between these two, but Kushida gets a measure of payback against the Octopus. Kushida, your winner tonight. Meanwhile, 2 weeks ago, the ABC got some payback on the system, and the tag team champions are looking forward.